Here is Fred. Fred has a problem. He is hungry. Fred is standing in a field of grass, and on the other side of that field is an apple tree. The tree has ripe apples and could provide Fred with a much-needed snack. In order to enjoy that snack, Fred needs to perceive the tree and its surroundings, identify the apples as edible and ripe, coordinate his movements to approach the tree and pluck an apple, then guide the apple to his mouth. What is remarkable about Fred's problem is that it seems unremarkable. After all, we face and overcome problems of this sort every day. And it's not just eating. We walk through doorways, pick up objects, and navigate through cluttered surroundings without bumping into anything. We take these everyday behaviors for granted, but they are not so simple. Using Fred as an example, the goal of these first 4 chapters is to make it clear that while these are simple problems for organisms to solve, they are difficult for scientists to explain. In this chapter, we will approach the problem the way that it has been historically approached, from what we will call the traditional view. Then, in Chapter 2, we will outline the difficulties with that perspective, in particular, how it leads to unsolvable problems. In Chapters 3 and 4, we will introduce a different approach, the ecological perspective, and explain why we think it is the most coherent approach for scientifically understanding how Fred performs this and other everyday behaviors, as well as for understanding broader psychological issues. One other note. Often in this book, we intentionally set up what we know to be a false dichotomy. A false dichotomy is when you offer 2 choices as if they were the only possibilities when they are not. For example, if you ask, which is your favorite baseball team, the Cubs or the Yankees? Mets fans and those who are not sports enthusiasts are both left out. In our case, we group every perspective that is not ecological into one category, which we label, for convenience, the traditional approach. It is not the case that every approach that is not ecological deserves this label, nor are all the criticisms leveled at such approaches applicable to all of the approaches that we put in this category. Having said that, every perspective we group into that category can be criticized on at least one of the points we are making, and all lead to at least one unsolvable problem. Our overall argument is that the ecological perspective is the most coherent and the most broadly applicable, in large part because it starts from entirely different assumptions about the nature of the problem to be explained.